Hello, everybody. Hi, Cecilia. Welcome. I was very busy today and then very happy with the way things turned out. Okay. Uh, I was at a school. I participated for the video production and learning some things and all that. That was very nice. And then I created this video on the roots of Diwali and Halloween. And had a very nice lunch, if you could say that. And then I thought I will chat with my friends for a while. So I started on my big computer the StreamYard that goes to three channels, and then started the new vibe. Mainly, I talk to the people on the new vibe. The other way they can just see me and listen to me and send me questions. They do send the DMs. That is the general question is how many people really know how or who I am, what I am, and what are the services I provide, and do they taste any of the deeper topics I engage in just for the sake of, um, you know, getting into awareness and education, some of the things. Maybe complicated, maybe not interested in some of them, but they're the truths of the life, right? Um, so we approach like that. So I am for those who do not know me or who may listen to this replay. My full name is Hanumanta Rao Kolusu. The Rao happens to be the middle name, But because Hanumanta is kind of difficult for people, I just used Rao. But a lot of people call me Dr. Kolusu, the hospital, clinic, everywhere in my patient world, people call me Dr. Kolusu. But then Dr. Rao is what uh, many of the social media and other people call me because it's much simpler, right? Easier. Okay. So I just don't want to be, uh, you know, trouble people spelling all that first name, Hanumanta. Actually, it's named after a god and he's pretty famous in yoga. This Hanuman god. That Hanuman is actually a monkey, and he's supposed to be a god. That means a monkey with a representative of moving all the time and imitating that kind of mind can be controlled with just one word repeating so much of time. And he evolved to be a complete brahmachari. That means he was uh, celibate all through his life and his kind of remained like that and then transmuted that sexual energy into something very spiritually superior. The story goes, my mom told me that when she was sleeping and she had this dream where the Hanuman came and gave her some fruits. And then they discovered that she is pregnant with me at the time. So funny, but nothing really big deal. But you know what? He is an exceptional icon of integrative yoga. He is a very powerful person, very physically and very powerful, the Hanuman god, and he represents the courageous type. Whenever you are really scared, you can think of him, and then last of bravery, courage, that kind of energies will. That those so they used to say if you are going to school and coming back, it's dark, now that think of Hanuman, and then your fears will go away. You know what? Obama, President Obama, he keeps a small statue of Hanuman in his coat job, in his coat pocket. He showed that one day. Not that he needs that courage or anything, but he is kind of happy to keep that elephant card thing in his pocket. So you can check on that. Obama and Hanuman, he got that when he visited India, and then here since he's keeping it in pocket, so a lot of people do that, because this exceptional God is an exceptional yogi because he is marvelous in his devotion to his Lord. And so in Bhakti Yoga, the devotional yoga is at the top. He's also very strong and very much capable of doing jumping from hill to hill. That's what that they described, right? And so he's physically pretty good with that hatha yoga, for example. And then he is very good at focusing. He focuses on one thing, he stays on that very fierce focus. That's because of the Raj Yoga. So action yoga, he does everything unselfish. And devotional yoga, he's a devotee of Rama, and then he's steadfast in that. Okay, he keeps his Lord in his heart. There are pictures they used to show us that he can break the heart open and he can see his Lord in there, right? And we used to believe that really. And then the third thing is the Raja Yoga, which is the focusing of the mind. Marvelous. You can do that like anything. And the fifth thing is learning about the life, about the secrets of life, and all that's the Gnana Yoga. That is the knowledge yoga that is as exceptional at. So there's so much depth. I was really uh, bowled over when BK Iyengar's son, he came in and he talked several hours over several weeks about the glory of Hanuman, about his capacities and all. I mean, most of the people worship him as another god. This is, you can see 60 feet sculptures of Hanuman when you go to. I think we saw it one in Delhi. One is on the way to Rajasthan. We were visiting Rajasthan. It's a fantastic figure in so many ways. They make him a god, they make him a yogi, they make him a devotee, they make him a very strong person, and they make him so strong that he can, the moment you think about him, and he has the capacity to drive the evil forces away. That is how we were raised about Hanuman. He's a major figure, in Indian mythology, right? Um, and there's an epic Ramayana. He's a follower of Rama, and he takes him as his lord. And he even discusses a lot of things. When you think I'm the body, that Hanuman is the body, then he's a slave of Rama. But when you think of me as this mind, then I'm the follower of Rama. But if you think of me as this inner energy, then you are not the same. The God and the devotee are the same. He's a very fascinating if you look at him, right? So I was wondering, how many people really know me, what I do, what I service, and why I have come to this level where I'm always talking about inner, going toward inner self, and then realizing that, and then being joyful. This works for me, really. I don't follow any particular religion as such, but I do kind of stay within myself, and really enjoy that aloneness, not loneliness, aloneness, but connected to everything. And the times that I spend by myself are very fruitful, very happy, very joyful for me, right? But I do relate with everybody. I do want to come and share some of these insights, hoping that may touch somebody and that may help them to really do that. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here, and uh, I have several. See, I used to be having a big practice in Iowa, but I ran it for so many years, right? So then I sold it off in 2019 and opened this online company where I can reach many people about wellness, about how to be stress free and coach people with burnout. and coach IT professionals with information overload, and also teach corporate leaders about servant leadership. Okay, and I do spend time on the new vibe coming and trying to help people to be well, to really participate in the rooms of several coaches who are doing that job of helping to promote wellness. So I like the topic. That's why I come and give my 2 cents, right? So sometimes it could be pretty profound. Sometimes it could be daily things as a physician, as an informatician, as a yogi. So so many services I am trying to do, and only thing is I don't advertise them, and I don't do the marketing. Whoever reaches me because they think I can do something, I'm more than happy to help them. Okay, so I live in USA. I always say that you can be in the boat, but not off the boat. You can be in the river, not off of the river. Like that, I'm in the middle of the materialistic culture, but I've had plenty of freedom and plenty of things that I could do in USA. I like the freedom. I like the uh, air of freedom, and I like the way they encourage. If you have something to manifest, I think this is a place where it is allowed to manifest, to come out. So that's the beauty of it. But I still retain a lot of things that I understood from India of late. Hi, Peter. It's kind of not with the sense of promoting India and other. I don't have to do that. That knowledge, that truth will be there. But what I am interested in how those things that I understand at the culture there and how they were and how India is not like that now. It's aping the West. But then they are also burning out, stressing out. They are not able to create a lot of wealth and all that, even though they have the means and everything for that. But I kind of live in the United States, but then adopt the yogic life and then adopt the philosophies of ancients. And unfortunately, I don't see the same thing happening even in India. People are not doing that. Hopefully, that revival and all that. People who are interested, they are far and few in between, and they do that. But majority of the health system, majority of the wellness system is not completely into that. Only few people out of their own interest they are doing it. So my thing is, how can I help bring my understanding of the modern medicine and ancient wisdom together so that individual human beings' health and wellness will be elevated. How they feel in their body, how they delay the illnesses, how they not succumb to the illnesses and live like a really not a vibrant life, but more like a invalid life, right? In the nursing homes, and they go on. They don't have this insights of the ancient wisdom in many quarters, either growing up or doing a job and dealing with the challenges of life or passing away from this earth. They kind of go in a daze like. You don't have to be. You can be really enlightened about the truths and then do that too. So that's why I thought I will just come and chat. Yeah, anybody has any questions about what I do and how I can really relate to you. Or see, well, many people don't come because I don't know why. They don't understand me or they get it bored or whatever. But I'm just happy just to come and share. So it doesn't bother me. But it would be nice if they understand this deeper truths about the health and wellness at least. And one of the chief things in the 4 pillars I talk about is mind management. That is where I think I kind of blessed with the ancient understanding, and that's why I kind of now live in a total state of awareness, and I don't carry any opinions like somebody's liking me, not liking me, or anything like that. Just relate to people with what's going on and help them to have more clarity about what's going on and help use the tools of healing effect from within, body intelligence, being in touch with the body and being natural about things and really be in circadian rhythm. Use the knowledge, technical knowledge and scientific knowledge that we have about health and wellness, but then lots of time that is laden with property orientation, greed, and all that. So I don't think many people in the health industry are aware of this shift that is there, where you are doing more like a job, not like a healing the people, not like helping the people really so that they can live well. You know, my job is to just give some medications, and afterwards you have to take care of your lifestyles, you have to take care of the society, you have to do all that. No, but I think I have a responsibility to society. I have a responsibility to say what is not right is not right, you know, and also I have a responsibility to help people to they have a right, they have a you know all the right. They have to protect their bodies, protect their minds, and protect their energies and all that. See, the more you are healthy, the more you are joyful, the better you can enjoy your life and contribute to the life, right? So that's how I look at it. It's not like a something we think big deal. It's a kind of normal, natural human life, normal, common good, right? So if you can have that. I am pretty uh, joyful most of the day. You know, I don't go on the roof and say I'm joyful or not. No, the way you feel, the way things come out is that. Okay. So it's not for somebody that you should export it. I'm just telling you my subjective feeling of how it is. And you have developed inner resilience through the ancient wisdom that kind of comes to your aid when you're sick, or it allows you to be continuously healthy, not getting sick that easily. The elements, the snow, the winter, COVID, and all that. Okay, I did not get COVID because I do the mitigant measures very religiously, wear a mask when you go out and keep the distance, don't go into the crowds, all those things. But apart from that, I work on my inner immunity, right? The diet, with what kind of things I think about, and then also what kind of exercise I do, and all those things. I'm into functional fitness. I do yoga for my benefit of my people, my uh, club members, or the on the Noom Vibe and other places I do in the morning. I do it. I enjoy it doing it, and then also in the same process, somebody lands and gets it, and then do that. I'm happy. That's what happens usually. Even when I'm doing the yoga exercise, it kind of makes you feel good about the stretch and feel good about the energy going up, and then you're naturally happy because you are getting rid of toxins, you are getting rid of all the tension, you get rid of all the stiffness and fibrosis of that, and so naturally you'll be healthy. You can live long. And I'm looking at this 100-year-old or 100 or 106 and all. They are so healthy and they're so vibrant, so there's something we are doing wrong that is shortening our lifespan, right? You can have natural death, that's fine. But when you are living, live quality days, feel good, feel ebullient from inside. When I heard the term unalloyed happiness from within, that is there, that springs up. I was kind of curious. What is this? We always think we should be doing something, or we'll be eating something, or we'll be having an entertainment and all that, then we'll feel good. But what is this? They're talking about doing none of that, but staying within and then allow that happiness that is there, and then it is released by keeping the mind quiet. Very intriguing, right? So when you do that, it's really realize it's already there, but I'm stupid enough not to realize it. Once I realize it, it has come out. So that's very important. I have a friend coming up. Let's see. Oh, yeah, my friend Peter. Regular, definitely. I go to him in his room, he comes to my room. We are friends.
My friend.
Hi, how are you, Peter?
Namaste.
Namaste, namaste. Yeah.
So I heard you and Coach Doris yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, talking about how how the health system here treats
Yeah.
emergencies and how it treats the effect rather than treating the cause, and how you can even prevent the cause by all the things you've been talking about since I've gone.
Yeah.
And I think about the morning. The morning routine, and I think about specifically when at the end, when I say that I am not this body, right? When this body thanks me for doing that, it thanks me and giving me vibrant health. It thanks me throughout the day. By staying loose and there's no tension in my body. So even when work comes in and sometimes things creep up and I get a little bit stressed, my body is calm. My body's calm, and it reminds me.
That's very good, Peter, that you are getting that, because body can communicate to you with its own intelligence of what is wrong, what is going on, and how you need to attend to that. That is an important thing. I was talking to Doris. She was talking about health affection with the nature. I told her, body has the nature. The nature of this is natural is our circadian rhythms.
Yes.
It can tell you, I am tired, don't push me. It can tell you, I need rest, man. Sit down. I need to sleep. Or I need to go to the bathroom. All this, we messed it up. All those natural things, right? And then once we realize, like you were saying, your body really helps you.
Yeah, yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
And I thank you for teaching me that. As you know, I started my journey, and it's very fundamental, but still, I've been to that place.
You are more than welcome, Peter. Why? Because you have a mind, you have you're on a quest to find something bigger than you, and then also you want to share it, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to nurture you in any way, because you are on a not your self-centered, something egotistical thing, but really share with people and live well. That is the kind of people I really love to spend more time with.
Well, thank you, and like I said, I always learn from you.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'll give you an example. I'm out doing my steps, right, and it's funny because the sun is behind me. I'm looking at my shadow. I'm looking at my body walking, but I'm also noticing my body. Like, it's not just the thought of it, but I'm actually noticing my body being separate from me. And this has just happened in the last couple of days, and I give gratitude to the universe, and I thank you.
Now that is the awareness.
Showed me this path.
See, that is the awareness, Peter. You stepped into the awareness, which is thoughtless state.
Yes.
See, I'm inviting people in the morning to be that.
Yeah. I can even feel like when I'm walking, I got so much gratitude right now.
Yeah.
Because when I'm walking right now, I even feel my body.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm separate from it. It is amazing.
Yeah. Actually, the mantra I tell you, do that as often as you can. The mantra is Deham Naham. Koham Soham. Know the meaning, you can do much better. Deham means this body. That body got 5 layers. All those 5 layers are together. That means body, mind, energy, everything, right? All that is not really me, but my attribute.
Right.
Don't try to. Don't. We have the tool, we have the body to go and enjoy and all that, but that don't identify with it. Suppose you are an obese person, you identify, you think I'm not thin like other people. That gets you down. One of the things I teach in my obesity course is don't identify with the body, because that's not you. Then they can work whatever they have to do without the feeling something abnormal and something low. And one guy who was 720 pounds, he was my patient, right? And he came in, and I have this big suite like thing that he gave me in the hospital in the beginning, and he gave me all sorts of perks. So $500 covers electricity, everything. but my practice blew so much I could not stay in the small thing. But then I could see from the glass doors. I could see. I was in the office. From there, I can see the street, right, coming up. They have curtains. I opened it and I light the light. Then this man slowly walking from. There's a little steep on the road. He's walking, and these constructive workers who were around him, they were laughing at him because he was such a huge man, 720 pounds, right? So he used to love to come to my clinic because I used to elevate his spirit by making this point. Hey, Ron, you may be heavy, but that is your body. What does it mean? Your body means that you are separate. And he really said that has relieved him so much burden from his mind.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and he was able to do whatever he could do without suffering. As it is, he's suffering because of the heart weight on that, and he's not able to move and all that. Why do you want to have this mental suffering by identifying what is not you?
I think of young people, and especially like young girls, because of the societal standards of what beauty is and what weight is. And I think of that body image thing that people do talk about, and they do work on and eliminating certain things, but just the way you spoke about it, boy, would they ever benefit from that?
Actually, this came from that. When we saw the suicide rate among kids are gone, and one of the reasons is they are not able to measure up to the skinny little models that they have, and they end up with this food disorders too, like a bulimia and all that, right? So there's a lot of suffering we see around this body image, right? And then people promote that as though that is a very big deal. I remember when I was growing up, I would have the neighbors, and my friend and me were classmates in the medical school. So I went to visit him one day, and then this his younger sister came in, and she was wearing this gold necklace, but she's a pitch black person, right? On her black, this gold shone like anything, right? And then people were making fun of her brother and all that. You know what her mother said? Hey, don't say things like that. That will also hurt her and keep her thinking about that. Corrected right away. It's not what color she has. It is who she is.
Yes.
So that lady doesn't have to feel like, oh, I'm black and all that. She never felt like that. She said, yeah, I'm born with this. That's also okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So what happens is we don't pay attention to these unnecessary pressures on our young girls, you know. And then now I'm seeing the cosmetics, this young 10-year-old, she does so many hundreds of dollars per month for the cosmetics. Young girl, not even 10-year-old. And I was seeing on the PBS channel, the newsroom, they were showing why these kids have become like that and what kind of sleepy atmosphere we have. We don't pay attention to the ultimate damage it does to them.
Yeah.
You know what? There is a Sanskrit thing, the translation is, you see, it is not the jewelry that you wear outside that gives you beauty. It is your inner clarity, inner beauty of kindness, compassion, love. Those are the qualities that give you the beauty.
Yeah.
See, the industry of cosmetics, jewelry, all these things are gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they won't be happy with me when I say that because he's taking our business, you know.
Right.
But I look at the suffering that they're producing for the young girls.
Yeah. It's and young boys too. I mean,
boys. Yeah, that's true. Young boys.
I think it's more prevalent.
Yeah.
Or you hear more about it.
That's true. Even boys have become very vain, not like before.
Yeah.
They used to be rough and tough and do things, but now they want to be appearing. They have to have a jacket. They have to have a tie, everything like that. There's nothing wrong with it. But if you don't identify, just enjoy yourself. You know.
Yeah.
That's a big topic in my obesity book. I wrote a book on the obesity too, and I wrote it for my cousin. Right, he's only 15 years. He's enormously grown. Right, so the parents are really afraid that what will happen to him and all that. So I wrote the book and sent it to him, and ever since the whole family went on a diet. and and then yeah, they're also trying to understand this principle. You see, what is different in my treatment about obesity is, first of all, this image problem. I kind of draw them. You are not your body, you are not your mind, you are your inner real self. Okay, catch that. And the other thing is, when you do that, actually you are able to work on your body better. And also your feeling about yourself is completely different, so you won't be influenced by other people or pressure from the other people to make you eat. Like, for example, taste. That's another thing I presented differently. Usually what we do, we allow our senses dictate to us, right? So pratyahara is what withdrawing, whatever the stimuli that are coming to us, really rejecting them, and the stimuli is not good to induce you. That you can practice in the forest bathing I teach. You go and watch your trees and all that, right? Then let you enjoy it. Don't make any responses from within. Like, for example, you see a tree that's beautiful, don't go and compare something. That's what you are doing in response. Don't do that. Just be with it. Just be with it, and then you will enjoy the beauty without any comment from you, without any judgment from you, without any comparison from you. That is pratyahara. That means pratyahara. That means you are exposed to the stimuli, but only you can watch your responses, and just by being like that without getting involved in the response, you are following the pratyahara. That's the same thing I teach for the obese people too, right? And they understand that. Another thing that's different from my obesity course is, why are you eating? Have you made eating an addiction? How can you make it eating as a regular commonsensical thing that I need, but I don't have to live only to eat? So the question is, are you eating to survive and then do better things, or you are staying survival because you want to eat? That means there is no other purpose except to eat and enjoy. So there are so many difficult things like this. For example, I am at the same weight for the last 15 years. I never fast. What I do is, I don't eat unless I'm very hungry. Very simple, right? So don't eat, don't snack, don't do all those things. Just eat. But then when you're eating, I do enjoy. I savor, I savor and all that. But I don't crave, because I have mastery over the senses. That anybody can have it. It's not just I'm special or anything. But what I'm saying is, right knowledge. Right knowledge makes you do the right things and makes you live naturally. This is a big deal. That obviously, you know what, now? This is a medical crisis, because we are forecasting much more numbers in the future, right? And also, because pediatrician, from my own practice, Peter, when I first started to now, I used to see people occasionally in India obese, right? But then most of the young people are very thin, most of the people, right? And then only genetic people may be there, but it's very rare. So, even the fat one, uh, they used to make fun of him in a jovial way. It's not like ridiculing him. So that used to be there. But then when I came to America, I found much younger people are more obese. And that is going down. When I used to say 20s, 30s in the beginning, and now before I left the practice, like a 10-year-old obese patients are there with me. So the kids' fathers, mothers, they are worried these kids won't survive long. So pediatricians are made to give the Ozempic and all that. And they have tremendous side effects. But if only follow those the natural things I'm talking about, you can really live with obesity, but at the same time, good chemistry inside.
Yeah.
So a lot of blacks, they complain about brown fat. That means they see the food, they gain fat. It's actually there. Scientifically, we know that, and that fat is amenable to massage, and also more like a oil massage and all that, and also the stretch moves that you have will help you a lot, because that underlying metabolism is stimulated, so you naturally burn something. Another thing is, if you eat more, obviously it will go and sit down into fat. But if you eat only appropriately, you don't have to build more on what you already have.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm very passionate about obesity. Yeah, so that's why I'm talking about all this.
Yeah, no. I think it's great. So I don't always get it right when it comes to food, but typically I do. Like, I don't call it a fast, but typically I have one meal a day.
Yeah.
And I eat when I have what I've learned is an earned hunger, and it's there's a difference between appetite and an earned hunger. Appetite is I want it bad, and appetite says I want it, and it has that like gnawing feeling in your gut.
That's a beautiful term, by the way, Peter. Earned hunger.
Yeah.
Very nice.
An earned hunger is a gentle anticipatory feeling. Like it's time to use food, and then you eat and you enjoy it. But that's kind of how I say it to myself. My body will tell me when it's time to use food.
Exactly.
Because I look at it like that.
Exactly.
I don't look at it like, oh, I've got to eat now.
No. That is called in Ayurveda Prakriti, nature. Actual translation is in nature. So nature has given you those circadian rhythms when it will develop this appetite that you call earned hunger. That's a very beautiful term. You develop this because you have really built up to the hilt. Then whatever you eat is absorbed better, digested better, absorbed better, eliminated. So work with that natural rhythm, then you are okay.
Yeah.
But the difficulty is we teach taste. You have to eat only for the enjoyment of taste, and we teach political pressure from the society, and then you more like that. You think that is the joy in life. That's the mistake, big mistake. There's all this political, all this pressures from the society, all the pressure from the traditional family dishes, the taste thing, and all that, and thinking this is it. Life is to just eat and enjoy. How sad it is.
Yeah. And I stop when that earned hunger edges off. I stop, and I always say afterwards. I always say, my food is digested and assimilated, and my body rebuilt and nourished. So I always say, my food is digested and assimilated, and my body is rebuilt and nourished. So
there is a cycle. Even if you look at medically, there is a cycle. First, you get up in the morning because overnight you are fasted. You are going to be hungry, and then you eat only big meal for that, and then don't snack and just allow the hunger to build up to lunch. Maybe have a light lunch, and then very light dinner.
Right.
That is also 2 hours before sleeping. Then the cycle will work better for you, digest better for you, and the elimination happens in the morning. That is the cycle that you want to have.
But for me, like, none of this happens, right? And it doesn't happen all the time. It's going to keep it real, right? But none of it happens. It never happens for me when I'm in a busy rush state, when I don't get my mindfulness / meditation, when I don't start my day out like that or take the breaks that I do. I can get hurry and worry and it just go attack.
Let's see. You remember what I said in this context. What did I say? You're not a good student now, Peter. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding with you. Yeah, I was kidding with you. But the thing is, what do I say? Be attentive to everything.
Everything, yeah.
Yeah, then what you're going to say is, you are not hungry. That's okay. Don't let your mind dictate to you. Wait till the hunger comes. That is the natural cycle.
Right.
Don't say cultural habits of you got to have lunch at 12. In India, they say you got to eat on the time.
Right.
That's so wrong. You eat according to the time indicated by your body.
Yeah.
Then it will
And
take.
There was a time not too long ago when I'd be like, "What the hell are these guys talking about?" Are you like, when I'm eating, I can't see doing that.
Yeah.
When I'm gonna eat, or I may be fixated. But if that's where you're at, that's fine. But here's one thing that we can all absolutely do. When we eat, no matter what the reason is you're eating, if you just put your plate or your food down in front of you and just sit for maybe 10, 15 seconds and look at it.
Yeah.
And just express some gratitude.
Yeah. Very important. Yeah.
Just express some gratitude. At least you'll begin to have a different relationship, in my mind, with food, acknowledging it for what it's doing for your body.
Yeah.
And that's it. But when you're in those rush states, when I'm in those rush states, I'll keep it on me. Before the food comes off of the stove or out of the refrigerator, it's in my belly because I'm eating it with my eyes, and I can't wait to get it in there.
No, there's a section in my comprehensive self-care about the vital nutrition. I talk about the ancients thanked the food like it is the Brahman, it is the eternal God, it is everything. Annamo Parabrahma. That is the thing they say. Another thing is they are not only thankful to the people who made it, who got it available to you, but also the food that is sacrificing its life to give you life.
Yeah.
So that kind of sensation they have, and then they consider it so valuable. It is eaten with gratitude, respect, and also reverence to it. So it's not like taken for granted and then just mechanically. I go to the luncheons quite often, right? As a doctor, they take me out to so many things we discuss and all that. Always my food is left there because they are talking. I'm involved in talking to them. A business meeting and they're talking, but then I don't touch the food unless everything is done. Then I focus only on the food and eat it. I may not eat much, but what I eat, I'm completely attentive. That's what I'm talking about. Be attentive. Yeah, every action.
Think about. Just think about there's so much. Like one of my things is just relax.
Yeah.
Just take it easy. Give yourself a break. Like that's my mantra basically. And
how I speak to attention people. Is hidden that.
When you're
repeat
it. If I can just finish this.
Yeah, please.
What happens in the States, in the West, like you really are a victim of this thing. When our government comes out and says the breakfast meal is the most important meal of the day. Make sure when a government agency sponsors that since the 1940s and 50s and drills that into children's head, and then they put together this what they call cereal. Yeah. And if you read the ingredients, it's not even food.
That's a terrible food.
It's craziness. but my point is, we're victims of this thing from young childhood. So now we're adults. We want to be more mindful. We want to eat. And it's easy maybe to get down on ourselves because we're like, this makes so much sense. Why wasn't I doing it all the way? Because you've been hypnotized like the rest of us. And hypnotism of thinking.
You are conditioned. That's what you are saying. But what I'm going to make a point, sorry to interrupt you at this time, but then I wanted to bring the meaning of the attention. Inherent in that is the absence of all this conditioning.
Yeah.
Because you and me are talking, right? And we pay attention, and then we want to talk about something. Then I want in a rush to say something because this makes sense. That means I am kind of allowing my mind to influence me to tell something. But being attentive is really not having the pressure of that conditioning coming through us. The very fact that you realize this conditioning is there is excellent. Many people succumb to that. They don't even know what it is. When we are attention, then you can see those conditioning factors coming in and you push them away and you are deliberately attending to what you want to do. So with the hunger, with the food, your attention is there on that, not on all these extraneous conditioning factors. But they are so powerful they engulf people. I agree with you totally on that. Yeah, very unconditional.
Keep cutting you off, please. Go ahead.
No. What I'm saying is you're totally correct about this conditioning that we go through. And we don't really bring attention to anywhere because there is a commercial interest, there is a political interest, there is a money and all that, right? So we get lost, especially in relation to food. People are conditioned in so many ways to see. International Diabetes Center is where I go to in Twin Cities, near the Mayo, and they call me for the meetings and all that, and I go there. This is the lamenting of the doctors. They say we are trying to limit meals, we are trying to limit calories, we are trying to do a lot of it, but all these marketing forces and restaurants and everybody, they are assaulting on this, and then they're making more and more calories, bigger plate, all you can eat this thing. And that's a real lamenting that they are talking about. They are talking out of anguish because they are seeing the patients are being really wronged.
Yeah. And there's a part of us, right? Or there's a part of us, the real us, right, that we just talked about, that knows no sickness, knows no lack, and knows no corruption. And it realizes what the truth is. So sometimes when we're using food like that, and in that way, or pills or alcohol, like afterwards, we feel bad. And we feel bad because we know intuitively it is not good. And we're not bad. Right. Yeah. But what just occurred, is a perversion of how things are supposed to go. Right. Yeah. But we don't know that on the surface level. So I'll say, like I always say, like I always tell people I work with, like, give yourself a break. Like you're not the first one who's had a pill addiction. I don't care what you're making per year. I don't care how many practices you have, because I work with people who have credentials, right? Yeah. And it doesn't matter. No one's immune to it because it's the human experience. But for me, everything that we talk about, all these issues, quote unquote, that people are having, it starts and begins in the silence. You start your day off and just take a minute and relax. Like Gandhi had some wisdom, right? He's that dude that said, I have so much to do today, I have to meditate for 2 hours instead of one. Like, he got it. He was on the path, right?
He was
not some skinny dude wrapped in a sheet that said, oh, yeah, he helped the poor. We know who he is. No, there's so much more.
No, he's a spiritual being, you know. He's there's one thing I want to make a very, we are basically are, but we don't realize that, you know. What it is, do you remember I say, you are not mind?
Yes.
So this is where it is, because all the conditioning, everything is coming not from your real you, which you have identified into yourself by yourself. That is where staying there is the challenge.
Yeah.
Now, when you do this, I'm not this body, I'm not this mind. The inherent thing is, I'm not all these conditionings that I went through, I acquired. I don't want them to come. How you can do that? When you are aware of those things coming to you. That's why you don't identify with that mind. Use the mind, but don't identify with the mind, then it will use you. Addiction, big. I think you can really relate to that. Because,
and like, so that's a good point, right? Yeah. So I'm speaking today, and I've been talking to you about like how the joy of noticing that I am not my body, the joy of walking and realizing this body, and I'm grateful for it, and I just feel it moving, right? It's doing my bidding, and I'm grateful for it. But here's the same guy, right, that a decade ago could not see himself ever. And I mean ever,
exactly,
at a time that I would not be taking prescription pain meds because I was so hooked in the lie. And after that ended, about 40 or 50 pounds later, I found out that I was using food in that same way, right?
Let me share with you how I deal with any addiction, okay?
Sure.
The biggest addiction for me is how we are addicted to thought, right? So somebody comes to me with a smoke addiction or something like that, then I trace them back to try to be that awareness self that they are, right? So this separation, even for a moment, I'm having the thoughts, that means I am different from the thoughts. right? In the sentence, we have that I am having the thoughts. The thoughts may be quite compelling and making me addict to something.
Yeah.
You come back, Peter. You're going out. I'm going to tell you something important. Probably you like
Okay.
it. So, so anybody addiction to anything, let it be smoking, let it be other things and all that. But then some of these cocaine and all this, they have so powerful hold that people cannot really escape from it, right? So they are so disheveled, don't have the capacity to do that. So we have to have extreme compassion for them, give them love, give them support,
Yeah.
everything from us first, then you can invite them, not tell them do this, but invite them to do something. What that
Right.
something is, establish yourself in that awareness by examine your words. I am having this compelling thought
Yeah.
or addiction. That means you are not that thought. There is a separation. So be
Yeah.
that you are. They get it
Yeah.
then. Then they get it. Then the more they do it, see how I did it. This example will help you. I did a PBR program. This was invented by a Texan physician who dedicated his life to stop smoking. He developed this and he came to our sites and then gave a lecture to all our doctors. I kind of adopted it and applied into my practice. If a smoker comes, usually I motivate him in different ways, show his x-rays, so the things, everything is going on with his lungs and all that. Then he's
Yeah.
really motivated by real information and also not really scaring him, but giving him hope and all. But then I want them to make their own decision that they're going to quit smoking. That's the first one thing before I take them into the program. Then what it is for 2 weeks, we may give him some medication in case he needs it very bad. Otherwise, we give them this PBR program. What is it? So every smoker has this impulse that he wants to smoke, right? That's when they want to light it up and all that. And they get the urge. They miss lots of them. They're not even aware. They're lighting it up and then to speak, smoking, right? Inhaling and all that. What I tell them is every time you have a impulse like that, just postpone it for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay, and then while you're postponing it, those 5 minutes, 5 minutes is a long time to do the
Yeah.
deep breathing.
Sure.
And that they deep breath. And then that is the B. P is the postpone, B is the breathing. And then last one is at the end of the 5 minutes, reconsider. Do you still have the urge that you need to smoke? Then go ahead and smoke. But if you
Right.
don't have the urge, don't smoke. Maybe he will have the urge in the next 10 minutes. Again, the same
Right.
thing he has to go through. So what happened was many people who are smoking 20 cigarettes like that, they were able to cut down at least 5 cigarettes.
Yeah.
The ones who are
And
smoking
you're
only,
creating
yeah,
you're creating newer pathways too.
yeah, not only neural pathway, psychological confidence that
Beautiful.
he did it. So he said, I was able to do it. And that reinforces subconscious confidence for him. And also
Yeah.
neural pathway forms about the thoughts and all. That's okay. But then this resolve that he was not able to withstand the pressure of the compulsion of the smoking was not there. And he did it by himself. I'm not there next to him. See,
Yeah.
that's the confidence we created. And then that's my proud. Say, I have treated heart attacks, I have treated strokes, I have treated diabetic comas, so much, right? In 40 years, you do so much. But my proudest achievement, I think, for myself, is how many people I made them cut down the smoking at least or quit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
those people are pretty happy. And then some people went back, but most of the people did not.
Yeah.
And then that's a tool they use again and again to get out of these habits. You see, my thing is, I always want to shout about this all the time. The inner joy that you will experience by having a calm mind, no compulsion, that is way more than the joy we get with these simple pleasures.
By 100,000.
Yeah. That's my mission. That's my mission, to convey to people how joyful it is within you.
Yeah. By 100,000. It is. And if anybody's, I would say, qualified, if you can use that word, to talk about that, I am. Because I don't talk about, just concepts. I talk about things that I've done in my life, that I put into practice. And guess what? I always say, hey, sometimes I don't get it. Sometimes I fall flat on my face, right? But I get up, and I go back, and I make it happen. And some of the times when I'm working with folks in recovery, a relapse is sometimes part of the recovery. It doesn't have to be, but very oftentimes it is. And I think I heard Mojo allude to this a while back about, like, say, for instance, you have a year clean and then you mess up on that 365th day. You don't lose all the knowledge and all the recovery that you have. Some days people say, oh, I lost my clean time. I'm starting from day one. No, every day is day one. You know what I mean?
I use this example. Look at this example. I say, did you have a child? Some person will say, yeah, I had a child. Did you allow him to walk by himself? Yeah. When he fell down, did you wait for him to get up on his own, or you went and helped? And many people say, sometimes I help, sometimes I allow. But the sooner you allow him to get up on his own, he's okay. But meanwhile, he slips and falls several times. That's okay. Let him learn. So the same thing with this addiction too.
Yeah. I mean, such a different approach. Like when the people, the men and women that I coach, like, they do come from, a lot of them do come from like 12-step programs. I think they're awesome. They're amazing, but they're not the only thing out there. And some of the things I say to them are so counterintuitive, but because I've been through a 12-step program and I've sponsored men in the 12-step program, I can easily make the integration and show them where specifically it fits their life, and we should do this right now instead of that. That is good, and that works for 90% of the people. But right here, right now, do this. And then we'll move forward.
I was wondering, are you interested to know how addiction is treated in ancient times?
I would love to know.
Yeah, I think you will be very probably, not only you get more insight because you're not addict now, but also you will be able to help a lot of people, not with everybody, but at least some people that are really, really severely addicted to the extent not doing what they want to do is suffering for them. Major suffering, right? So if you want to cut down that suffering and really help people to discover this joy, I think that's where you should listen what I'm trying to say about that. It's not about just getting rid of the habit. That's okay. But resulting in immense joy. See, more of things, we're going to either punish them or we tell them, oh, it's not good for your health and all that. But they don't touch that psychological suffering people have. Either, forcibly.
Just changing the symptoms, the effects.
The cause, I don't think modern vision really know, because it's all a very reductionist approach. It's not even current mechanical, quantum physics, that what it is saying is you are not just a human being, you are an energy body. And all these people who are out of that energy cannot understand what that is about. There's like
I think as human evolution, I think as a species or as a race, as an energetic collective, like, we're moving in the right direction. I really believe that. Even with all the bad things I just listed and we talk about.
No, look at it this way. We have evolution of that in the ancient times. It was there, but it was conveniently neglected. So they are more evolved people than we are. But we can measure up to that again. That is there. But just because these people have scientific tools and all that doesn't mean inwardly they have evolved. Actually, that is a problem also, because they think everything is mechanical, everything is reductionist. They are missing the whole energetic, emotional, intellectual bodies of the human beings. That's
But
why
what
they're
they
making.
can't do,
Yeah,
I agree with you, but
yeah.
but what I'm telling you is like all these roads they're going to discover are dead end roads. They're going
Oh,
to end up in the same place. Like we're all made of the same
yeah,
stuff. We're all made of everything the ancients were, but
yeah.
we weren't. We're not as a collective society. Say we're not
Exactly,
as
exactly,
aware.
exactly. That is it. Because we can realize and we can get to the potential. But the thing is, the commercial pressures are so much, people are not able to discover on their own. So that's where they need
Yeah,
help. You talk about this oppression, conditioning by the commercial world. That is really doing a lot of damage to us. Even the science discovers something like a nuclear energy, people are
yeah,
using it for the wrong purposes like that.
of
So
course.
what I'm
Yeah,
saying is I'm not against the science, but what I'm saying, the limited view of scientists, just because they are reductionists of something, they're missing the whole. Even in
yeah,
my branch,
it's not just
yeah, my
yeah, it's
branch,
not just with addiction. Like the whole thing is backwards, right?
yeah, yeah, very much
And no
so.
matter what we bring up that we
Yeah,
see as problems or issues
yeah,
to resolve,
yeah.
it's born out of having the whole thing in reverse, right? And but
Something,
now we reverse engineer things
yeah,
as we go forward. Here, been here now for a
something
while.
very interesting,
We work towards
Peter.
truth.
Something very interesting for your addiction area is,
Mm.
do you know deep, not the regular meditation talking about, but the deep samadhi states? They showed that people generate their own humorous substances that give receptors. Like, for example, cocaine is there. Cocaine
Mm.
receptors like that induces intense joy happen to
Yeah,
people who never use drugs. This
yeah,
is this is a kind of a very intriguing question for us, because I'm involved in deep meditations and also involved in the scientific aspect of it, right?
and
So
I'm involved in the deep meditations and the
yeah,
using of like the addiction side of it.
yeah, yeah, exactly,
So I
yeah,
know both, and
yeah,
I think I told you the other night, like
yeah,
I like what I feel when I'm home, when I'm in that state.
yeah,
Like there's no pill created now or
exactly,
ever that
exactly,
will
yeah.
will duplicate that.
The thing is, by your own meditation, your own thing, you can create that kind of joy that you will get with a major drug ingestion. That's the point, right? So what
Right?
it is why we are not allowing them to go to experience that ecstasy, joy. You know,
Yeah,
like when you are talking about the silent mind, that's what I'm talking about too. So what it
yeah,
is that is their evidence, but the people don't want to promote that because they cannot give medications and everything for these people. If I make them sit down and then really go into them and then make them joyful, why do I have to take medication? I don't take medications.
yeah. No, I know since 2014, right?
Yeah, I told you about that's when I had the stroke. They gave me something, and then there also I didn't want to take any narcotics. But they were saying, oh no, no, you should take this and that, like that. But I didn't take it. But what I say is not a egotistical thing. It's like showing a modern physician trained to give medications sees the limitation of it, but also use of it. Use
Yeah,
appropriately. That's all I'm saying. Uh,
yeah,
this abuse and making people out of addicts of prescription medication, that is something definitely medical field has to own responsibility for that.
yeah,
See,
yeah,
unawareness, don't be aware of what is going on, just give them and then let them go. So my job is done, my patient is done, and I get my salary. Not about
yeah,
displaying how can I help this patient to live a longer, healthier life.
yeah. But even say that's important you say that because even your colleagues,
Yeah,
right, are victims of that
yeah,
same,
exactly.
I call it hypnotism. They're
Yeah,
victims of that same hypnotism, and
yeah.
it's in the medical arts.
They
Yeah.
suffer because
So
of the pharmacy's restrictions. They
mhm,
suffer because of the administration burden. They suffer
right.
because of the lawsuit, all that there. And then they suffer because they can't manage their own understanding because they're ignorant of all this. And they are burning out. They are really frustrating because of all this conditioning. It's a major thing that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I help with them. So those doctors who are reaching me for that, I help them. First of all, distance yourself from those thoughts. Second of all, take care of yourself better. Nurture yourself from inside. The inner resilience I talk about, that applies to them much more. And when they do that, they are very happy because they are getting their psychological confidence and also hold on their life better.
Yeah.
So if you, I just do that, what I'm saying is, you are not your body, you are not your mind, but they are your tools.
Right.
So be
Right.
wise and use them. Don't have to abuse them, but at the same time, don't be attached to something you are not. You remember I said, praptasya prapti, nivrittasya nivritti. What you are, you will get. What you are not, you will lose.
Mhm. Yeah. So I want to dip into this deeper on Friday night because
Yeah.
you've touched on a lot of
You can go
really
as
deep
deep as you
things.
want, Peter. You are my guest.
Yeah. Just because I talk about it because it's like it's really what you know
Yeah.
a higher power, of course, but it's really what saved my life, and it
Yeah.
continues to do it on a daily basis. Like it's not just something I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And I'm that dude again a decade ago that did
Yeah.
not see a way out of ever not taking a narcotic pain med. Like that was my Superman pill, or so I thought.
Yeah.
But it was kryptonite. It was kryptonite for me.
Yeah.
But when I'm home now and I'm in that state, like there's no pill. I promise you, there is no pill
Yeah.
that can make you feel that way.
Ultimately,
and today, I'm so grateful
Yeah.
because I can just do it through breathing.
Yeah.
I'm not a yogi,
Yeah.
right? I'm not Dr.Rao. I'm not Gandhi, right? I'm me. You know, the only thing
That's
the only
it.
thing I did was keep it real with myself and said I need to
Don't
make
compare
a
to
couple of
anybody.
changes.
Don't compare to anybody. You don't have to.
See that?
You know?
You just made my point. I
Mhm.
compare, like I'm imperfect,
Uh-huh.
and I do compare my head. But my point is, and it's just so important.
Yeah.
You know, Dr. Rao, when I do work with my folks in my recovery coaching business, I always
Yeah.
start
Yeah.
with 5 minutes of quiet. We can
Right.
be looking each other in the eye, it doesn't matter, but
Very
we
good.
always start with
Yeah.
5 minutes of silence.
Excellent. Excellent.
If you don't want that, then I'm not your guy.
Yeah.
Because I know everything starts, for me at least.
You know, a lot of people on this app, they don't understand me because they can't make their minds quiet and listen. Right? I'm not blaming them. I'm telling you a fact. Many people, they say they don't understand me, or some accent or some nonsense they talk about, but they're not getting to the real stuff. You get into the real stuff, Peter. That's why I'm willing to spend time with you and learning it too, because what we talk about is not to display how much we know. What we talk about, hoping it will make a difference in somebody's suffering. That's all. That's all. It's not that they have to worship us, they have to put us on a pedestal, nothing. The result of it touches somebody's life. That's all.
Yeah, listen, I know like I'm one bad decision away
Yeah.
from going back to it all. I know that. Like,
Yeah.
like talk about something that's humbling. Like I know that I can never. I don't even take the chance. I
Yeah.
can, listen, every time I go to a healthcare provider, I always disclose straight up
Yeah.
what the deal is with me. I always straight up disclose. I just make that that's just a practice that I do.
Yeah.
And
You
it's
know,
just really important to me.
this is a very good point you brought up, because the people, the victims of the desire is so powerful, the senses, right? They're so powerful, they can make you like that. And somebody called me. So it's like
Maybe
a,
Dr. Rand's phone.
yeah, some phone call, somebody. So what I'm saying is that power of the driving the, inwardly, the compulsion and all that, the sensory things is so powerful. This is actually, have you heard about what's called sthita pragnata?
I have not.
Okay, that's a major thing. It's like it's just not knowing things and being wise occasionally. This is about when you know the wisdom, getting stabilized in the wisdom is very difficult, because our senses are so powerful at the nature through which desires and everything come. That's so powerful, right? So they say that's a central thing to overcome all these tendencies to slip back into non-wisdom and all that. Like you're talking about addiction, those one step away, all that is there. that lability of the mind, the emotional corruption, all that is there. But then when you are established in that, to be in that, first thing is when the desires, all this come, you should behave like a tortoise, right? Okay, and you withdraw all your limbs into the cover. See, if you go and threaten a tortoise, a turtle, so a turtle, when it goes a turtle, and the turtle will withdraw all his limbs. Like that, when you have an exposure to a stimuli that tempts you, withdraw your desire and everything within you. Sensory exposure. It could be not just eyes and ears and all that, but also the desire, the exposure of something. My mind, you are desiring. That's upfront direction is that. If you slip back, that's what happened to you. So remember this picture of turtle withdrawing the limbs. Then practice that during the normal times of the things coming in. Then see, I tell you a story. This sage, who was a very good teacher, he was offered a big glass of milk after so much of trouble.
I know the story. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. When he touched it, he gave it, and they asked why it's not good. No, he said because it is good. I practice. That is the practice. That's the dispassion that they develop during the normal life. That is not there in American life. They don't have any vairagya. They don't have any dispassion. They want everything. Even if I teach them something spiritual, they want to go and make a business out of it.
See? And listen, I don't disagree with you, but I can say that I can make the argument for either side. The other side of that is, like if someone has a certain skill set or someone has a life experience, and maybe that's their calling, right, and they're pulled away from their typical vocation. I don't mind that.
No, I don't mind that. I see that with you, no problem. But what I'm saying is, they don't participate with their own life and spirituality, and they're selling the solutions to somebody else.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. No, I understand people who
that's what they call the self-help.
Actually help people to make a living, to make money and all that. That's okay. I understand that. But then it is this rampant greed and forgetting about what is the purpose of that profound thinking, and then just going and make. That's a part of the problem of our society too. It's not that Americans are not there, are really pristine. I know so many Americans that are very sincere and very much with that. I'm delighted to talk to them. But what I'm saying is, in general, this is the tendency. How many wives you have gathered, how many claps you have gathered, how many comments you have. What is this? See, it doesn't touch me because I'm happy by myself, but I don't need.
I don't even give it attention.
We don't.
Active I've been on my Facebook account. I have a couple friends on there, but that's when I started doing some acting and entertainment stuff. So I have just people I couldn't even tell you.
Other day, so my friend came here.
My Facebook. My favorite, my background picture says Noom Bot, right? Because that's something I believe in. Other than that, I could Facebook and go kick rocks, but I know that it's a tool now, right? That I could use to spread the word about this community.
That's the way I look at it too, Peter. Because the other way, Mark came up, one of our friends here, and he said, Dr. Kos, you are only 11 people here. Don't you get disappointed? I said, I'm not doing it for that number. It's up to them if they want to say the truth, if they want to understand, if they want to get the joy, the same that I have. I am joyful whether I'm doing it or not, but I'm more joyful when I do it and I have friends like you come up and share. I'm more joyful. Why do I have to have 100 people? One Peter is enough, right? So I care for the people, but then I don't have to put the restriction on them that they have to come and listen to me. I don't have that need,
Yeah, and that's foreign speak for some folks, but I love that you say it, and you repeatedly say it. I believe you when you say that, and but you still see some people get discouraged and give up or not, say, hey, screw it, I'm pouring all this out and pouring into these people, and they're not responding. And but that's not you. That's not what you do.
It doesn't make a difference. Even one person is there, I will talk the same way. 100 people, I talk the same way. See, because it doesn't get resisted like that. See, if your own goal is increase the more people just to come. And you see, they don't even participate like a deep discussion that we are having. They just come and listen and it go away. How can you have profound things explained in a few seconds?
See? I agree and I disagree.
Yeah. Why do
I agree because I'm sure it happens, but because it's like because we are all the same, right? Because we are all that one energy that we talk about.
Yeah.
It's impossible. It is impossible not to recognize truth. Now that truth may bother you to the fact that you don't even want to deal with it, maybe too much for you.
Yeah.
Or you may just be like a baby, like realizing, okay, this is a new world, or I return home. Like you intuitively, each of us intuitively knows and recognizes
that is true. That is no doubt. Everybody knows the truth and can feel it, but they may not be ready to get it. What I'm talking about is this effort to look inward is not there. Then if you're the more you are in looking, the more you can deal with this profound talks. Otherwise, you don't have the energy, you don't have the patience, you don't have the reserve to listen to what they are saying. You are only reserved about how can I make my point rather than touching the truth. Everybody knows that what is truth. That is totally true. But how many people live with the truth?
Yeah. But you know what, Dr. Rao, because of all the things I've been through, I always reach out to that part of humanity that says, listen, I get it.
Yeah.
You're a victim of predatory advertising. You're a victim of predatory, these games that they put out, any number of commercials you watch on TV. Yeah. It's this hypnotism. It's, fake.
That's the same with my patients, Peter. That's the same with my patients. They come with the different things, right? We don't want to judge them. We want to help them from the situation.
With compassion and love.
Yeah, compassion. And then, say, there's a song, this is another project I will come up with. I have some very deep philosophical, not religious, deep philosophical and spiritual songs that I enjoy a lot. Like this morning, I enjoyed what is called Pushpa Vilapam. Pushpa means flowers. Vilap means sad song. This man goes into the garden and then tries to, take the flowers from the trees, right? And then suddenly he wants to take them to his god and worship and all that, make a garland. And suddenly he finds all the flowers come to life. This is a poetry, right? All the flowers come to life and say, hey, what did you do to him? Why are you killing us? And then he goes into the description of how the ladies make it a garland and put it in their hair. In that, it is described as you take the thread and put it around our necks, and then you take a needle and put it through my heart and make a garland. Look at the tragedy of a beautiful flower giving all the fragrance that is going through these cruel things with us.
I agree, and I respectfully, slightly disagree, because the flower is not us. Like we are.
No, it's a symbol. It's a symbol.
Yeah, I know that, but what I'm saying to you is like, and maybe I'm missing your point, but as
you're missing the point. The point is, we are supposed to be the inner compassionate self, and we are really became immune and doesn't even know the flowers are suffering too. See, the sage Ramana was talking about. Do you know that there's a pain for this tree when you really chop it off, or you take those flowers, or you take fruits forcibly? Let it ripe and fall down, then take it. See the sensitivity of non-violence and completely to the degree of even the live thing of a tree suffers. But what I'm saying is we lost that sensitivity, awareness that is a life that we are doing damage to that.
So I agree 100%, but there's a portion of me that still respectfully disagrees. Because when we talk about the real us and that we're not our bodies, but there are our tool to use, right?
Yeah.
And to experience life through these eyes and see. I think there are things that are put around us, right, to support us, and not just support and sustain us, but for us to expand our consciousness with.
Yeah, that is the consumer
ornately, if I could, ornately placed around us. And I think some things in this equation, this physical plane, or most things, are subject to our
so look at that.
I believe, I truly believe that there's a hierarchy to that. There's inanimate objects as well, right? So I agree with you, but as far as picking a fruit off
what is an inanimate object? What is an inanimate object there?
What is an inanimate object? One, so it, to me, it is that which cannot think and produce and manifest.
Yeah, that is where the approach. Come back, Peter. This is kind of, it's not an argument, but I just want to make it clear. What it is we are sensitive so far we are concerned, but we are not sensitive to the life that is there too. The tree, no, listen. The tree has life. Its flower has life. Its fruit has life, and because we are dominant, we are insensitive, we don't mind hurting it for our consumption. That is the thing, you see. I'm not talking about ordinary people like us. I'm talking about the sage that has enormous compassion, not just only for the human beings, but all living beings.
Gotcha.
Because he considers, you see, he won't go and pluck the fruit from the tree. He will wait the fruit fall down, then he may take it.
I understand that.
That's the question. That's the only question. That's the only question that we are asking. Why can't you wait till that fruit falls to the ground? Because by taking it when it's alive with the fruit, it can really. And the other thing is, the life that is come down will be there for a few hours only. That's why eat organic food means that you have to eat when it is very fresh.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the decomposition started. Minute maybe, but it has started all. Now we kind of make the travel from Kenya to United States and let it decompose, and then we want to eat it. Or that in a can. So that's the bad part about it. Anyway, what I'm saying is, it's not an argument. I'm just trying to show the compassion of these great souls for everything.
Yeah.
That's all.
But I think where we go wrong as human beings, that would hear the same story as you're telling right now. The same people who would consider themselves pupils of that sage, whoever that sage is, and say, well, I do this, I honor this, I don't step on a bug because it's this, or I don't do that. The pride wells up in them. And
that is called sattvic pride. That's the pride. That's again the ego is there. You have not learned anything. Basically, some people are like that, Peter. I am so knowledgeable. I can. That is there. That is sattvic pride. Again, self-inquiry. Do you examine? Are you growing in that, or you are completely out? You know what it is? Freedom, joy, because you don't even have that pride.
Yeah.
It's a question of Adam pointing out is that poet who wrote about the flowers, their problem, and the way he describes it, it was a major hit when the singer sang it, because he put life into that singer. He felt the pain of the flowers and presented it such a way in his voice. You will be moved, because you have to know the language though. Otherwise, it's Telugu, but then that's my main language, right? And so I was so moved. I remember the entire poem by heart for years. And then the more I recited, the more I see how sensitive that poet was. He says, "You are born in the land of Buddha, personification of kindness, compassion. And you have forgotten the natural love you have for things and everything. And that's why you are willing to hurt us. All we do is give fragrance to the air, and then really beautiful sight, swaying to one side, other side. all the description it does, what the flower does in it. And he says, as a life there on the tree, they are in the youth.
Yeah.
You have destroyed our youth and put us down, and then you kind of sweep away. A very beautiful way of showing us what human beings are capable of and what human beings can do harm also. So
Yeah.
I remember that because the sensitivity of the poet really gets me.
No, I understand it.
Yeah.
That's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, that's the project I have. Why don't I do these songs and tell them what I enjoyed? Not preaching anybody, just a good poem. Like I can read a Milton, that's okay. I can read a Kabir Das. I can in the Kabir Das what he says is, where are you looking for the God? Where are you looking all over? Moko kaha doonde re bandhu. That means, where are you looking for me, sir? I'm right in you. I'm not in this temple. I'm not, this is a masjid. I'm not in a church, but in you. The whole song goes like that.
Mm.
I'm really privileged to read these dohas, they call two poem things, right? Two-line poems, two-line poems. Doha means two lines. And those are so implicit with the wisdom, Peter. And you can read number of times and still something is revealed to you.
Mm.
So see how brevity they have, how much they have. My English teacher, my Hindi teacher in the school, pre-medical school, I took them, right, and went there. One Milton poem, one single Milton poem, he discussed it for 3 months.
Mm.
3 months, the daily class. That class is dedicated to that, and then the depth they went into was really fantastic. And then something remarkable happened to me in those classes. One of the classes, I don't know what happened. I took completely different, like we both are talking, we took different perspectives. That's okay, right? And then,
Absolutely.
yeah, we have that spirit of agreeing to disagreeing even there. Then I was asking something completely left side to the what is going on. So all of my colleagues, they got irritated. Hey, what you are asking out of point and all. They get scolded me, But that's a friendly scold. Right? Then my teacher said, no, 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 no. He's taking a leap in his mind about this. Let us follow him closely. And then he said, see how profound things have after the discussion. This is how profound things are because Kolsu took a different turn.
Yeah.
How that happened, I don't know. It just came out of my mind.
Mm.
See, I was raised on the Socratic tradition by my headmaster and all that. What it is, think by yourself, for yourself, of yourself. Don't follow somebody else's thinking. And that made us really think for ourselves. He won't teach us. He will give us a lesson and say, go and read and come tomorrow, we'll discuss it. When we come and say, you ask, so what does he say? What is the other saying in this? Why does he say it? How does he say it? What do you think about it? Do you have another perspective? So he made us think on our feet, whatever that is, with our own mind. No falling back on the traditions, no falling back on the old history, nothing. Whatever comes from our mind.
Yeah.
And that was a great service I think he did for us.
Dr. Rao, namaste. I have a call in exactly
Yeah.
3 minutes.
Okay,
So
no problem. No problem.
Okay.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks
Bye.
so much.
Bye bye.
Namaste.
Bye bye. Yeah, that was a good discussion. I think I enjoyed it. Thanks, Peter. And so, anybody else want to say anything? You can come up before I close up. I don't want to leave if somebody wants to come up. I'm following some of the people here that are new to my talk. Usually I do that every talk so that I can do the least courtesy of following them, and they come to listen to me. Okay, that's not bad. You see, many people are here. See, I was telling Peter about these very spiritually rich. That means they are all following the universal laws, universal truths, universal answers. They are not from the prejudiced mind about thinking we are great, our way of is great, none of it. Anybody, it should be India, China, USA, whatever the country is. They may have some pride about themselves, but this is about pride of the entire human tribe, entire actually living organisms. It could be small ants to plants to animals to human beings. But when you say all those are existing for my use, that's where we are wrong. Life is one, and we should try to survive it, thrive it, as much as possible. The more evolved people, not like us, but the more evolved people, they have this sensitivity to all life. I know there is a one Jains. They really um, cover their mouth with a kerchief, with a cloth, and so that they won't ingest all these bugs. You know, not for their health, but not to kill the bugs. And also, they'll be looking it on the floor where they're walking to see that they are not stepping on some ants or some small bugs or anything like that. Again, with the intention of not hurting any life. For me, they are non-violent to the core, and they're great people, and they are so sensitive to others' life. They are trying to protect it. Not like I'm thinking these are created for me so that I can consume them. That's not the attitude. Because that attitude of these are for me to consume, we are killing whales, baby whales, and that's a tremendous killing going on in the seas, tremendous killing going on in chopping all the forests. So we have to have that sensitivity. I think we should really be awake to that. Anyway, I kind of appreciate that when they're exposed. So I'm going to do a series on selected songs that I like very much, and probably I will tell you what I understood from there, what were the insights I had, and how I enjoy them so much. Thank you. And anybody else, last chance before I close down? Is there time for my evening hour of news? You usually see that evening PBS channel, and who are really give me a lot of facts and not propaganda. Or if you see the Fox, it is all for the Republicans. If you see CNN, it's all for the Democrats. But these are pretty balanced. They are not for any particular thing, and they also bring the horses. Really, we can hear from the horse's mouth. Like they may bring a Ukrainian president, they may bring our Secretary of State, and anybody from the Middle East. So all the real people with so many subjects, they come and they present real expertise or knowledge. So we will come to know not only the news but also intricacies of it. Like for example, they take inflation. They bring somebody who really explains to us what are the factors that you can increase the inflation in both each candidate's proposals, economic policy, how Trump's will increase, how Harris's will increase or decrease, whatever the intricacies they tell according to the scientific knowledge that is available on that topic. So I like that authentic report. Okay. Thank you, and I hope to see you later. And I'll talk. I'll see you tomorrow morning for sure with our morning break exercise. Remember what Peter picked up. I'm not this body. I'm not this mind, but they are my truths. So I am completely different from them. Once you understand that, establish yourself with that, you will be more joyful in your life, no matter what the circumstances are. Okay. So catch that small things from morning routine. And if you have any doubts, you can always DM me and I will share whatever I know. Thank you. Bye-bye.